Welcome back to another Habs Weekly Report with the hockey coach Franchise directly for the beautiful country of Thailand on amazing great Sunday night, September 29, 2024. You have a hurricane called Laine happening a couple of days ago, hit from Florida all the way to North Carolina, everything like that. Last night we got an hurricane from its front direction inside of the Bell Center, and we're going to talk about this tonight and see what would be all your different opinion about the situation for the Montreal Canadiens, the devastating injury of Patrik Laine and of course of David Reinbacher. And then after that, the behavior of Jekai, and then you have Sikorsky, Anderson, and this is the biggest conversation in Montreal right now. And they have uh, it's really crazy. So what if we ask of only thing for tonight? I know I don't do that a lot, but I think we have to because yesterday is starting to go with different direction last night during the show where people get emotional and they get, you know, maybe frustrated, everything like that, is to be sure we get everybody, right? We respect all each other. We have different opinion, and that's okay. Right? That's the beauty of the sports fans, to sharing your own opinion, but don't take anything personal and don't talk about another person in the chat and attack that person like bullying. So that's one thing I request. Moderator did not talk to them, but it's not a point here. I don't want to put anybody out, but just be respectful with others. That's one thing. That's the beauty of what we do here for many years. We try to minimize and why we don't accept anybody, targeting someone. So I know it's going to be hot tonight. I know it's going to be uh, steamy at some point. So, but again, we can do that with many time with respect for each other. So I just want to share it with you, and of course, we'll be this week. Just want to let you know that we are live tonight. We'll be back Monday night, and then we are back Tuesday night with a game Montreal Canadiens. Wednesday with Marco Larabi for the weekly report. Thursday, now starting the NHL projection, everything like that. Thursday night. And then we are off Friday. Then we'll be back Saturday for the last game exhibition for the Montreal Canadiens against Ottawa. And then we'll be back again on Sunday next week. That'll complete before the beginning of really the NHL season 2024-2025. So I can't wait to talk about what's happening for the Montreal Canadiens for the upcoming season. But again, we already know what's happening. So we don't have no NHL news tonight. But a Sunday night, without him, it's not good. So he is back in the house tonight, and the Hockey Nation, the Habs Nation, worked very hard to figure out something about Enortap. So we did something special for Mr. Enortap. He's on the green room, but he did not expect that at all. So let's see what's happening, Mr. Enortap.
Hockey knowledge, his passion for the game, compassion for others, an infectious smile, bring excitement and joy to every episode of the Habs Nation show. Enortap is the heart and soul of our discussions, always offering sharp insights, bold predictions, and a deep understanding of the sport that captivates fans. Whether he's breaking down key plays or diving into the latest Habs news, his presence elevates every conversation. Welcome back to the house, Enortap. Ooh, ooh. Welcome back to the house, Enortap.
Yeah, Coach, you're the best. What an introduction. Thank you
Welcome
so
back in
much.
the house, Mr. Enortap, and the crew of the band, Habs Nation, tried to find something good for you, and then they write a couple of lyrics about you, what kind of man you are inside the chat, and this is a reflect of all the comments for we heard all the time about you, Mr. Enortap. So thanks for joining me on the great September 29 for the Montreal Canadiens weekly report, like we do every Sunday. And tonight is a little bit different because you have a lot of conversation about Albert Jekai, the injury of Patrik Laine, and of course, David Reinbacher, everything like that. So, what we got for Mr. Enortap tonight on the subject, we're going to
Match.
sharing right now here is another year. Same story for the Montreal Canadiens, obviously. And you can see the deception of the Martin St. Louis year after year, Mr. Enortap. And you're going to see Martin St. Louis get a little bit more great uh, year after year, by the way. I don't know why,
Yeah,
but
just
it's
like me.
there. You know what I mean? So we'll see. And then we get the video today, the devastating news about Patrik Laine. And then, of course, notre ami, our friend Dimitar played today, game number 10. We're going to talk about what happening to him today and other prospects for the Montreal Canadiens. So that's what we got on the program tonight, Mr. Tap. And we'll see what happening. We have a lot of people in the chat already. Don't forget, everybody, to click on the likes. And we really kind appreciate for all of you. We're going to welcome everybody, Mr. Tap, very quickly, if you don't mind. Tony the Mark is in the house tonight. Welcome back. Cash Fans Tonight. Welcome again to be part of the show tonight. Roy from Bangkok,
Welcome.
LDP for the Buffalo Sabres. Abination knocked the door tonight. Philip Brand, welcome back, by the way. Thanks to be with us tonight. RJ Calabo back again. Very quiet day for RJ today. Only 3 games in NHL. And of course, you're going to talk about the NFL a little bit later. You have a game, I don't know. Ron Kings, moderator of the Hockey Nation Show, back in the house. Ron, follow now, Mr. Antal. Very involved with the team Utah. He sent me some picture, and he did. He went to the game, and then he did also follow the Kings for Ron. Triple W back in the house, Mr. Antal. We didn't see the triple for the last couple of days, a couple of weeks, maybe, well, a couple of days, at least 1 week. I know he's on the tour of the Reclaim on the whistle with Willie Snyder. You don't know, Mr. Hunter, but they are a duo now. They have formed a new group, Willie Snyder, a Triple W. They don't have the bell yet, but they're working on that to get the bell to become the champion of the world. But we have to wait about the development of that. I'm going to give you a little bit more information that's on the week, but welcome back for Mr. WWW Pizza back in the house, Mr. Tap. Welcome back. Gary Conway back in the house. We know you are not there last night, Gary also. So family first, Gary Conway, welcome back. The best driver in the world, Pete Martin, is in the house tonight. Welcome back. Charles from Scotland is in the house tonight. Welcome back. John, back again. John Hue, you with us tonight. PLW, knock the door. Ready to rock and roll, PLW. And then we're going to talk about Martin Bezir for Waterloo. Mr. Tap is in the house tonight. Welcome back. Hopefully you're doing well. And glad to have each of you. Jeremy N, welcome. Jeremy N, I don't know you're still at the school. At some point, we're really busy with the school at some points during the summer. He pop up left and right sometimes. So hopefully he's doing well, Mr. Jeremy. We miss you. Claude Richard, directement de la belle province de l'Ontario, directly from the capital, Ottawa, is in the house. Raven lead 7-0 against the Bills. Here we go. There you go. We got that one over there. Then we're going to get try to get a little bit. Luciano, knock the door, Mr. Tap. Luciano. Welcome back. Le modérateur de Hockey Nation Show, Nicolas de Goubibonneau, dans la belle province du Québec, dans la région de Sherbrooke. De ce soir. Travail demain matin, mon Nicolas. We have to go to bed early tonight again. Portuguese Soul. First time in the chat, I believe. We changed his name, but whatsoever. Portuguese, welcome in the house at the Hockey Nation family. Hopefully doing well. Tony G is in the house. We have Tony the Mark. Now we have Tony G. Glad to see everybody back in the house tonight. Glad we have everybody. And then we have a couple of people coming. Now we have Tony Reardon, Mr. Tap. Wow, long time we didn't see Tony Reardon. Not really to Jeff Reardon, but every time we see a Reardon in the house, we talk about Jeff Reardon. But Tony, we have Tony the Mark, Tony the G, Tony Reardon. So we have a triple T tonight, triple Tony, Mr. Tap. And hopefully you're doing well, by the way. Glad to see you around there. Tony the Mark talk about Lyndon Dupont. Yeah. Another Gary knocked the door tonight, Mr. Tap. Gary, I believe, from Ontario. We have Jerry from Gary Conway from Montreal, by the way. I tried to pick up everybody here. about John L. And a lot of people talk left and right about the comments left and right, Mr. Tap. Here we go. So that will get everything, my Mr. Tap. Welcome back in the house. Ready to talk about the Montreal Canadiens tonight on the great weekly recap. Just quickly, briefly, talking about the weekly recap for the Montreal Canadiens, guys. They played 4 games last year, last week, 2 W, 2 loss. They have, of course, a win 5-0, 3-0 against the Flyers and the Devils. And then they lost 2 times against Toronto, 2-1. Goal 4, 10, goal again 4, differential +6. That's what we want to hear for the Montreal Canadiens. Power play 0-20. Oh, Mr. Tap, power play 0-20. He's getting a little bit frustration about that, but we're not going to talk about this yet. We're going to see what's happening a little bit later about the power play. About that, the Terminator, Jeff Reardon, yeah, the Terminator, about that one. Mr. Tap, the next one, Montreal Canadiens, the first cut happening yesterday, from 59 to 32 players, Mr. Tap. And one of them is Owen Beck, a cut for Montreal Canadiens. Not many other surprises. We talk about Farrell, Kitney, Simoneau, Perrault, two new defensemen. There are two goaltender, Cavalin, honestly. Then you have the player was invite, you know what I mean? So they are not there. So this is the biggest name for the Montreal Canadiens, like I just mentioned to you. But overall, are you surprised a bit they don't keep Owen Beck a little bit longer?
No, not really, Coach. I mean, for him to have stayed, I think he would have had to push the envelope a little bit more. It's not that he was bad. I thought he was decent in the games that he did play, but you could tell he's not just quite there yet, right? I think in this case, with unfortunately with Laine possibly being out for long term, maybe it opens up the door for Kapanen. We'll see.
Yeah, and that's key now. Montreal Canadiens with extra Alex Barry-Boulet example, Eamon Eneman,
Right.
Oliver Kapanen. They're going to fight for the maybe a forward on defenseman. Logan Mailloux right now is on that cut. He is not on the cut, so he's still with the Montreal Canadiens. Adam Engstrom and they have Jacob Tobesh are also part of the roster with the big name a little bit more for others. So they're still there. We'll see what happening. Well, I think they're going to go through the week without any other cut. I think so. And but otherwise, will be interesting what it's going to look like. The Montreal Canadiens this start their season October 9, 2024. We have Roger Collette is in the house. Welcome back, everybody. I will get ready to see Thursday Friday. Back by the way, the training camp of the Laval Rocket under the new head coach Pascal Vincent start Mr. Tap Tuesday, October 1st, 2024. And they're going to be the same process with Montreal Canadiens. We see what they look like, the Laval Rocket for the upcoming season. A lot of new players for the Montreal Canadiens inside of the organization be part of that. So Owen Beck for me,
be very promising, Coach.
It's just the extra center they have already, right? They already know. Yeah. And then they already know Owen Beck. I think in 99.9 they would be with Laval Rocket. So they maybe want him to be start right away at the beginning. They have a better chance to first line, second line with the team. But I think that's a good move for the Montreal Canadiens about Owen Beck. We'll see what it's going to look like, his development, and the Laval Rocket for the upcoming season. Montreal Canadiens announced today with the cut two players where they have to go through the waiver of the NHL. Condora, where it looked like he can play defenseman in NHL. We'll see he's going to be that direction with the Laval Rocket. And then Gignac. Gignac return with Laval Rocket. We'll see he's going to be picked by any other team. Every day right now they have 30 players on the waiver, and only one team can select one player. I don't see both of them go nowhere. They're going to be both returning with the Laval Rocket. They are part of the Laval Rocket last season. Gignac have a great year. Get a call out for the Montreal Canadiens last season. And Condora also. They are another two player with bubble, but they are more steady player in American Hockey League. So they will need experience at Laval. And I think this will count on both of them to bring that kind of consistency and lead by example for the Montreal Canadiens. They're looking also for a captain for the upcoming season. I think Gignac could become that kind of captain. We know Dauphin is back inside the organization. They lost Gabriel Bourque, and
Hmm.
then Dauphin could be another one. Some people talk about Logan Mailloux, but I don't think so. It would be good to leave the signed captain or the young gun for the Laval Rocket. I think it would be better to have a player been in the American Hockey League for many years to cover all the duty of the Montreal of the Laval Rocket American Hockey League. So we'll see what's happening about that one over there.
Should
Gignac,
be
son of
hopefully
Fernand
a
Gignac.
very good roster. I think for Laval this year, it should be a promising year as well. They have some good young talent, but they also have some good veterans that are going to be up there, coach. So, and with Dobesh being there an extra year, I think that'll service them well. So, good luck to them as well as the season starts.
Absolutely. A lot of people talk about Beck. I all agree with Thunderman, Gary Conway about that. Thanks again for all the likes. We appreciate a lot. Now, the next news for the Montreal Canadiens, guys, is about the injury happening yesterday, the nightmare on the Montreal Canadiens. September 29, we're going to remember the September 28 for a long time. It's on our tap. Um, that remind me sort of. I know it's our subject, but no, but
Go ahead, coach.
there's some date in my life I could always remember in my life, like some specific happening, personal, everything like that, And there was some date like July 7, when I was 12 years old. I got involved with a crash, and my dad, everything like that. But September 28th, September 29, 2005, they have an hurricane. We just talked about Laine. It's called Katrina. And I have some
Oh
kind of
yes, yeah,
property in the Mississippi on the coast, on the Gulf Coast, close to the beach, everything like that. And there was a washout. The good news behind that, although the fact we lost 90% of the house, everything like that, I was not there. So I was in Arizona
exactly.
working with the Arizona, the Phoenix Roadrunner with Claude Lemieux and the East Coast Hockey League. So they have a kind of meeting that year over there. So I have to go left. I left 3 days before that, and I was supposed to come back the same day, but you have no plane and direction of everything on that south in that area. But those kind of date we're going to remember again September 28th for the Montreal Canadiens, at least for this year
Yeah.
for the situation. Now we can go for many directions, Mr. Artap, but first going to leave you the floor. And you're going to talk about everything you want to talk about what happening with that incident yesterday. I'm going to some clip for you, by the way, but I will let you talking and people can react. I'm going to go a little bit more deeper after that, and of course. So let's do it.
Well, last night, coach, I was up for most of the evening, and I purposely taped the show. I wanted to definitely have a look at it when I either got home, but it was too late. So this morning I got up early. I didn't know anything had happened yet, and as I'm watching it, you can imagine the different stages of emotions that went through. Not only me, but every Hab fan out there, right? Unfortunately, to see the type of injury that happened to Laine doesn't look good from what I saw. Like we'll wait until we get official reporting, and they're also waiting for the swelling to go down a bit because then you get a better gauge of what the true damage is, whether it's MCL or a combination of other things. So it's unfortunate, and we can go around and talk about a lot of things that pertain to the incident itself, and I'm sure at some point we'll cover some of those things. But to sort of bring it to the moment, it's an opportunity right now, unfortunately, but it's an opportunity for somebody that has to step up and fill in the shoes. You're not going to get the kind of production I think you would have got out of Laine from somebody else, but we were worrying about does Kapanen stay or not? Does maybe Barre Boulet stay? Now that opportunity is presented to them, unless they go in a different direction. So that part we'll wait and see. In terms of the incident itself, I don't know. I looked at it numerous times. I mean, let's start with the Reinbacher incident first. That was totally innocent. I think it's just the way he sort of fell back and landed on his left leg that caused the damage. Again, I'm not a doctor, but from what I saw, it's nowhere near. I don't think it'll be anywhere near what Laine's injury will be. So hopefully he will have a speedy recovery and probably be with Laval and join them there. My biggest concern is his development, because if he misses an extensive amount of time, it's going to cause problems, obviously, for his overall development. It'll deter it a little bit. Defer it, sorry, a little bit more. With regards to the Laine, I mean, all the different things I've read in social media, the news coverage, sports podcasts. I mean, you can go around this in so many different ways. I don't think that there was. I don't think it was a premeditated thing that Barre did, but I, I do see how he did put his knee out there to sort of try to stop Laine from progressing between the two players, and that's what caused the incident. So, is there intent? Well, yeah. If you put out the knee and your thumbtack or your thumbtack there shows a perfect picture of it. He's leaning in with his right. He's got his arms up, pushing up against the shoulder, and he extends his left knee right into Laine. So that part, I think you could say there's intent. What I'd like to address more are a few other things, and starting with why was there not even a penalty? I think a lot of maybe the stuff that happened afterwards, maybe it wouldn't have been prevented, but it could have been sort of tamed down had they at least called a penalty. You know that the emotions are going to be high. A lot of people are then looking at Jack Eye's actions, coach, and really dogging it. Like, this is what happens in the NHL. This is not much different than what we saw about 3 years ago in the playoffs when Corey Perry accidentally concussed Tavares in the playoffs, and then on the next whistle, he had to answer the bell when Foligno came out. It's a code. I'm not saying you agree or disagree with it, but Corey Perry knew he had to answer the bell. He did. The whole incident was a wash after that. I think that's what kind of happened there as well. He came out. I saw a couple times he tried to tug at his shirt to sort of get his attention to drop his gloves and fight. He didn't. He moved away. He didn't want a part of it. And then it turned into what it did at that point. So I don't know. We can go further with that, but that's sort of what I saw from that, coach.
Very great comments in the chat, left and right, about that. I think you hit a couple of points very good about this. Um, I agree with George Larek comments this morning. It's not fair to be the only one to stand up for his teammates about that. Listen, I'm going to go to many selection with that part of there, and then I'm going to bring another way. Start Thursday night and then go our way, and I'll give you a different option, different reaction from the Montreal Canadiens team, players, and management, everything like that. First of all, I think you have to go a little bit more deeper about the overview of the NHL roster. Ronnie said Montreal should not dress the NHL players. But when do you dress them, Ronnie? Monday,
Exactly.
the Flyers came with the C American Hockey League team. Tuesday, you dress the New Jersey was worse. American Hockey League players. Saturday, it was the dress of the player for the Toronto and American Hockey League, also with East Coast Hockey League players. Thursday, Montreal did the same thing. They went to Toronto the same way. So, Ronnie, when do you dress the players? Like, they have to dress them at some point, right? It's obviously an incident where it's happened. It's sad to say that. But now, when I say the NHL need to figure out something else, do we have too many games? Do we need
Yes,
to
that
play bring the player like them, whatever who they coming from, just to wear a jersey to give them an opportunity to feel or to have an experience at the cost of losing a star in NHL for the rest of the season, and not only for the Montreal Canadiens. Imagine if it was Austin Matthews or Connor McDavid or McKinnon, where you lose those kind of players uh, for the rest of the season because what happening Saturday night between a player from East Coast Hockey League versus NHL. Again, you can go the knee was out, you can go that direction,
yeah,
but that's
you can
happening,
analyze it.
right? You don't know the really what Perry was trying to do. The game is fast. The time of reaction is quick. But when you don't play any initial on top and you just try to stop the opponent players, but the inexperience of the players uh, play on
Exactly.
that role for Perry. I don't give him any excuse. Everybody is responsible of their body in NHL. This is the first thing. If you put your stick high over the shoulder, hit the face of someone, you get a 2 minute. Whatever is accidental or is intentional. Same situation
Right.
yesterday. It's a situation where I believe
Yeah.
the roster Montreal can the NHL game exhibition game maybe drop a 4. Second thing, the rules of the player can be a part of the each lineup for the Montreal for each team in NHL for exhibition game. A little bit more could maybe change. When I said that, the veteran, how they qualify a veteran in NHL, I think it's not good enough for me. They go from 200 game. If you played 30 game last season, if you are a first round pick, you are a veteran NHL. So I can go all the way like that, but it's not a point. So for me, two things from NHL: less game, secondly, better roster. I agree with something with Ronnie when he said the roster
I
is
would
not good, but I think I'm disagree with him with the fact like Montreal should not only dress American hockey player. His fans come to the pay the full ticket to come to the game. They don't want to see a Sivigny and Waterspoon of the Laval Rocket play Saturday night at the Bell Center. They want to see Suzuki Hudson. So click on that one.
I
Now, when
think
you bring Mr. Natap about the penalty, where I feel it, that's where I'm initial referee. Understand they are on the cam also. But when you talk about a veteran, Francis Charon as a referee happening in front of him, this is the same
yeah.
referee for the goal from Sam Bennett last year against Boston. This is the same referee. See the fist of the Tampa Bay Lightning. I think it's so nice again. Nick Suzuki or McDonald again. Nick Suzuki and the playoff against Tampa. Now I'm going a bit over the map. But my point last night, Mr. Tap, I've been referee. I don't compare myself at that level. But when I was said to you, what the referee when you go to the clinic and any level, you travel all the way to NHL. They will tell you one more thing. Try to not escalate anything. Try to calm down if something happening on the ice. Whatsoever you're not sure, just to be sure. Because yesterday, Mr. Tap, to fix the problem, if I was referee, I say, you know what? I'm going to give him a 5 minute penalty, put him out of the game. Nothing will happen after that. They cannot run Paris in the locker room. So nothing happened on the ice. It's maybe
That's
extremist,
exactly
but
right.
you go with the safety of the game, first of all, and you go with the right things to do. Worst case, put him a 2 minute. You can give him also a 5 minute without game misconduct, but at least you're going to have to calm down the situation on the ice. Berube sent him back right away after that on the ice. Like, why? Why not the Berube as a
Well,
coach experience in NHL take a little bit longer? So you know what? I'm going to sit him for a couple of shifts right there to let everything calm down overall. So that'd be the things I think the NHL referee missed the point here. That's the
Yeah,
second thing there.
yeah,
You want
coach,
to add
I
something?
agree. I agree with, the number of games that are played, way too much. I think 3 or 4 would suffice. I think you have a good idea as an organization. It's really usually up to, a handful of players that may or may not make the squad, and that's what you really want to evaluate. I know, uh, when you prolong it as much as you do, that's exactly what's going to happen. You're gonna have games where you have an entire AHL team playing, and then you run the risks of what we've been seeing in the last game, right? I agree with you 100%. Like I had said earlier, the referee. This is not exhibition for the referees. They have to come in there and they have to be professionals, and they have to assume it's a regular season game, just like they would any other time. And they see a penalty, then they call it, and that, if for nothing else, like you said, it would have diffused the situation a little bit. The
Yeah,
other thing I
absolutely.
would add, coach,
Go
one
ahead.
other thing, and it's not going to be a very I I understand the whole code thing, and I get that, but if we're going to sort of say, well, you know what, that was either a cowardly thing that was done, or very he was such a bully. And when they talk about Jack, I disagree with that. I think that, as you're creating chemistry in a team and you're trying to, go to the next step in terms of building something for the future, players have to believe that you're going to stand up for each other. It doesn't always have to be one player, of course, but I think and it doesn't always have to be fighting. It's just a team toughness that has to happen. But when something like this happens, then, obviously you have to allow them the ability to defend their own players. You don't want to see what we saw about 2 or 3 years ago when, um, uh, his name escapes me, took a shot at Montebo, and nobody reacted to that situation. You remember behind the net?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm forgetting his name right now. But anyways, the point being, nobody stepped up, and that gives such a negative vibe to the entire team. The last thing I want to say is also the coaches have to assume a little bit of responsibility here too. Knowing that this is going to happen, why would you, after the first play that's this situation has happened, whether you're Berube or whether you're Martin St. Louis, why would you send out those two players, knowing exactly where it's going to go? To me, that if holds a higher accountability than Jack Eye and Perros, because they all what had to happen. But the coaches should have probably been a little bit wiser. Maybe wait a couple of shifts, give them a couple of shifts off, and then later on.
Great comments in the chat. We're welcome. Matt, thanks so much. Cashin, Mr. Tap. So,
Cashin, yeah, Zach
right?
Cashin, yeah,
And that situation was was Jeff Petrie on the ice going the corner, by the way. So thanks, Matt, about
yeah.
that. Thanks everybody for the likes. We tried to get 50 likes tonight out of 9. And again, we have 2 on dislike, Mr. Tap. That's okay. I like it. I like it. I like it.
Those are
And I did
mine.
not talk
They're
about
mine. Don't
Albert
worry.
Jacquet yet, Mr. Tap. I'm already got 2 dislike. Mention what I'm going to talk about Jacquet the next couple of minutes. Now, great point,
It's
Mr.
okay.
Tap. Because
I
you
wore my
talk
soprano shirt.
you talk about fun subject here, Mr. Tap. I think that's pretty good. Now, after I discuss about the referee return like that, and here a couple of points here. When you talk about Martin Saint Louis and he sent back Albert Jacquet. And you guys, I don't know if you play hockey, would be in that level of return that, but when you play hockey, it's a game of emotional, right? It's how you control your emotion. Jakai is a guy with emotion guy. He's going to defend anybody for his teammate. He know his role, and if something happening, is the first one go to the war. Right? That's what his mentality. Right? It's a world pack mentality, Mr. Notat. That's what you call it, right? I have
Yeah.
nothing, no problem with that. This is perfect. This is good. This is try to create in Montreal and any team. That's what we're happening. Now, last night I got burned, Mr. Tap, by the fancy when I said Jakai did not do well on his reaction. And I got burn. I would say just the I'm sorry to get very nice here to say the word
I could
burn,
imagine. I could
right?
imagine. Okay. I
So
think I think I know where you're going with this.
so here's the point. You talk about the code, you talk about everything and happening. So I'm going to shifting a little bit on another direction, but I'm going to go back of Martin Saint Louis. It will take a little bit more minute, guys. Stay with me on the chat. Keep concerns you pose. Keep be sure everybody is respectful between each other. You have your own opinion, and it's okay, and I like it. But
Fine.
at the end of the day, guys, we have to be sure we don't bully anybody in the chat. So let's review the leave and the Montreal Canadiens Mr. And I will go to, and I think you're going to like what I want to bring to you. The problem here, Mr. I need to find my first graphic. Here we go. Thursday night, I have a game, Toronto Montreal Canadiens. Peseda on Tavares. Is it necessary for Peseda hit the legs of John Tavares? Nobody talk about this. No one. No one talk about that hit for Michael Peseda. And the league, you can see, Mr. Tap, you need to finish your body check. I agree with that. But we are in the preseason game. Michael Peseda, when you see Tavares, he could a little bit go slower and say, you know what? I don't need to go put Tavares on the sixth row in the building. I just go there to be sure I stop him. Tavares was the last player on that play over there. It was just chipping the puck. Stop right there. Greg Berube passed his life in NHL to fight. He know he took a knock. Check. Peseda hit my player. All right. Tavares hurt. All right. Then after that, Mr. Tap, what happening? Maybe nobody pay attention to that. Here happening, Mr. Tap. Max Domi, I always said Ty Domi. I always said Max Domi and Ren Rees starting to run after Laine for the Montreal Canadiens. It's happening at least 4 times. Domi tried to bring Jaden Trouble to fight. Domi start to create something because of that hit over there. I'm not blaming Peseda. I'm not blaming anybody. What I'm trying to bring you guys is everything where it start and it's getting your bigger and bigger and bigger. Then after that, Mr. Depp, the Montreal Canadiens at that game, who was on the dress? Jekai was on the ice, right? Jekai was with him as a defenseman, right? We have Trouble on the defenseman. You have Mayu was not there. Barron on the defenseman. And on the forward, you have Michael Peseda for the Montreal Canadiens. I believe, I don't know if Tuck was there.
Tuck was there. Yeah, he was there.
Okay. Here happening, Mr. Mata. No reaction from the Montreal Canadiens on any player running after Laine Hudson. No reaction. Jekai didn't want to go nowhere. Is it because the Toronto dressed Reeves, dressed a couple of big body, Danev? No. Montreal decide we don't react. All right, so we can get pushed around, but we don't react. My point behind that, Mr. Tap, Reinbacher got hurt at the beginning of the game, 13 seconds. Funny, no reaction again.
Yeah, but that wasn't. That was just a straight hockey play. It's the way he landed on his back left leg that caused the injury. It was just a.
But what happened, Mr. Tap? Do it was a body check right away? So Berube have said to his player, we're going to check everything here tonight. Body check on body check. So that moment, nobody react. Whatever Reinbacher is out, react. React. No, they wait. Perfect. Now we get Mr. Tap. Laine injury. Then you have Jekai reaction. Now we just lost David Reinbacher. Now we have only 5 defensemen, right?
Yeah.
Now, here's my point here. Before I talk about Jekai, I'm going to bring you to what happening in Philadelphia Saturday night. First thing, Mr. Enortap,
Okay.
Mishkov in the corner, crush-shaking in the face. Then you have Sweezy, almost Sweeney, but it's Sweezy. Run after Mishkov, right? Now, what happening after that, Mr. Enortap? A veteran captain show up,
Olivier Delorier.
Couturier set up right there, and he fight straight to Sweeney. Make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Following.
so what's the point here? So there's front between Jekai and Couturier. We said 2 things right now. When you bring Martin Saint-Louis in the conversation earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is really emotional. This is, as a hockey player for the Montreal Canadiens, and not only in the chat here Saturday night, yet last night, we feel like this is the end for the Montreal Canadiens. Reaction, Montreal not going to make the playoff. Montreal now going to be draft top 5 in NHL. I can go the way. And I can understand that. And you know what? Myself, I was disappointed what happening for again. Another injury. Could be that. And I can go the way like this, right? So it's almost the hope, the excitement disappear for one shift only. That's all. Now, you have to pay back, right? Billy B sent back Paris on the ice. Martin Saint-Louis, before he sent Jekai, he should go to see Jekai, say, look, buddy, be careful here. We have only 5 defensemen. If you are gone, we're going to be only 4. So be careful if you go on the ice, do the right things. When you said that, Mr. Enortap, you can fight, but you can also go to the players to opponent team. You can be patient, you can wait. So what happening for what I was disagree for Jekai last night is 2 things. First of all, he dropped the Montreal Canadiens at only 4 defensemen. Secondly, Mr. Enortap, I just showed the Couturier. What Couturier did is the code in NHL. This is what Georges Larac said today. You go face to face with a guy, right? And not drop the guy from the back of his jersey and from behind and drop in to the one and then start to fight on him and hit constantly when the guy is docked. That's the problem right there. The thirdly, Jekai should turn around and go face to face with the guy and say, buddy, hey, it's time now. It's showtime. Now we'll see the reaction of Paris face to face. So this is where I disagree with Jekai. If he go that direction, Mr. Enortap, he's not get a 2-minute an instigation fight and game misconduct. People said preseason, he will not do it in season. Wait a minute, fans, because he did the same thing at his first year. He did the same thing last season, and inside of the Montreal Canadiens, we're never going to hear that. He's sent back to Laval because of those behavior about that. Said that, I'm not against Jekai, like you people thinking I'm always over him. I just give you the fact of what's happening there. So it's an emotional game. Jekai need to control his emotion. Jekai need to become a little bit learning experience of that. So wait a minute, I cannot leave my team by 4 defensemen. And Martin said we missed on that one. He should talk to the defensemen. At least Stefan Rabidas can talk to the players before they jump in on the ice. Is it the right time at the beginning right away? I just don't like the way he did it. Now, it's a Wolfpack mentality. Completely agree with that. We need a reaction, but we need to react properly the right way, not the wrong way like he did yesterday. We lose a forward, Mr. Enortap. We still have 11, 10. But losing a defenseman when we already lose 1 for the game, we fall at 4. We have to put Condora as the defenseman at the end because Hudson, Mayu, Madison, Savard was exhausted. It's only 3 games at the preseason, and we put them at 25 minutes per game, 27 per game. At some point, this open up maybe from injuries, Mr. Nassau. So put this together. This is why I feel like you have many things happening last night. Is a really a curve learning experience for many ways for many people. The head coach, the assistant coach, the players for the Montreal Canadiens, and now had to go with the culture and the philosophy of the Montreal Canadiens as a team. Okay, we can be a world pack, but again, Mr. Tap, do you really like Juraj Sakaski had to fight the same player hit Reinbacher during the second period? Why? Why? Why
Yeah,
Sakaski have
okay.
to fight
Finish
about
off.
this? Anderson fight got hurt after that. So emotional, Mr. Tap, yes, but you don't have to go there to fight at the preseason to leave a message. You can say, guys, I understand your frustration now. I feel the same way like you are. I understand now. Maybe you're thinking uh, it's about the season right now. You're thinking without him, we're going to go down, everything like that. Not the way for me. I'm not going to put the season over already because we lose one player. We still have 19 players in the room right now here. We are a team here. Do you think nobody can step up? And that's what you have to have a coach. He only talked to the players between the second and the third period. This is where I feel like the inexperience of Martin Saint-Louis, example, versus Tortorella is there. The inexperience of Martin Saint-Louis versus Berube last night is there Thursday night and Friday night and Saturday night. If the Montreal Canadiens never think 1 second, the Saturday night, the Toronto is coming in town with no chance to not play hard and not try to create something, I don't understand the Montreal Canadiens. They knew. So why not to dress up Peseta, Luke Tuck, Florent Jacquet, Mr. Enortap, and Sean Farrell. Sorry, Davidson. Sorry, Condora. But tonight, we feel something here tonight. But no, they just go with, there we go. So the softness of Martin St. Louis, for me, is my point here. He's not a bad coach. Martin St. Louis is a great coach for the Montreal. Is a right coach for the Montreal Canadiens. But my other thing is lack experience or the lack of never been that mold or DNA as a hockey players. Maybe show up there. Or I don't know with anybody in the organization, Montreal Canadiens say, wait a minute. They maybe not dress Ryan Reeves or Ty Domi, but still have player right now. They try to do something here. And protection, preseason is on top. Nothing wrong to dress Luke Tuck, Peseta, as Jacquet for line. Nothing wrong there.
Yeah.
Over Sean Perel. So put this together, Mr. Tap. Steer the pot. I don't know what's going on in the chat. I'm just talking to the camera right now. When I'm fired up like that, I go right there.
Chat's going nuts. But you know what, Coach? Some of the points I think you brought up are very, very valid. Like with regards to the first point that you made that nobody stood up, I would disagree with that because as we saw, Slavkovsky got into a fight, Anderson got into a fight. With regards to the
I'm talking about I'm talking about Thursday night. No reaction. It was Thursday night
on Hudson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had no reaction from Montreal Canadiens. He had no reaction on the first hit against Reinbacher. So
right.
That's why the no reaction.
Well, that's something I think that you when you're equating the two, obviously you need to stand up for your team. That's first and foremost. And there's different ways in which you can do it, and you have to pick and choose your time when it's correct. I can agree with that. And maybe somebody should have stepped in when Hudson was taken advantage of a couple times, because obviously the more he shows in terms of his talent, the more players will take liberties at him unless they know that there's somebody there to guard the gate, so to speak. With regards to Jacquet, Coach, I mean, it wasn't, he didn't just jump him. If you look at the clip carefully, he tugged at him twice and he spoke to him saying, we're going. And the player decided to skate away. And then when finally he caught up to him and started throwing punches, he turtled, right? And that's not part of the code too. You know, you didn't see the player when Couturier challenged him. He stood up. You know, he knew he had to take his.
Yeah, but the player can stand up, Mr. Top. He got grabbed from the back. He go down right away.
Yeah, but why did he get grabbed? Because twice he avoided him. He was saying,
No.
let's go,
He
let's
go
go,
behind
let's
him.
go.
Jekai, Mr. Top, go face to face. I'm not going to excuse Jekai on that one. The coach, Georges Larac, Georges Perros, Chris Nyland, and I can go the way. The big gun, the big fighter, go straight in the face to Ren Rees. Don't go behind Ren Rees. You go face to face. Hey, buddy, I'm going to drop the glove there. The other player's going to do it. They're going to do it.
Yeah, but but you're missing the point is as soon as the play came around the board, twice he said to him, he said, we're going right now. And the player skated away from him. So then he either looks like a schmuck and skates away because he didn't play, or he goes there and does what he was supposed to do. And he said, well, if you're not going to face me and fight me, then I'm going to jump you. And that's eventually what ended up happening. Now, again, is it the right thing to do? I think, you know, the referees at that point decided to make an example and throw, you know, whatever it was, 27 minutes at him and get him out of the game. You know, that wasn't I don't think the anticipation was I'm going to get myself thrown out of this game. It's just how it unfolded because the player Perro or whatever his name is did not stand up to Jacky to say, okay, I have to pay my dues. I took liberty at your player. I recognize that whether it was intentional or not in his mind, you have to stand up to the challenge afterwards. And that was not done. And that's why you saw it unfold to the degree that it did, because, you know, he just decided not to fight him. I mean, I think it's as simple as that. It's not about being a goon. I don't think anybody there was being a goon. But you know, you're being challenged. You either fight or you don't take those liberties at somebody else's player. It's simple.
Well, again, I'm reading the comments in the chat about that. At the end of the day, Mr. Tap, you have to learn to do it at the right time, at the right opportunity, and not make your team on that situation. This is why I see, for me, no problem for his reaction to Jekai. I don't like the way he did it. That's simple at the end. And you cannot.
Okay, so what was he supposed to do, Coach? He challenged him. He said twice, "We're going."
That's it. He does not want to fight.
Oh, you let it go. You let it go.
He doesn't want to fight. That's it. Wait at the right time. Wait another time, Mr. Tap. You don't have to go in Paris. You can go with another players later in the season.
Okay, let's go back to my previous example. 3 years ago in the playoffs, when Corey Perry accidentally hits Tavares and concusses him, and Foligno says, "You are going to pay up for this." Did Corey Perry walk away? No, he dropped his gloves, he took his lumps, and the situation was diffused.
You talk about a player, 18 years experience in NHL, play over 1,000 games. You talk about a guy playing the B League most of his life. He played the East Coast Hockey League. He got drafted by the Boston Bruins, never playing the East Coast Hockey League. If we see Jekai show up at 6'4", 240 pounds.
Well, he's also 6'4".
You think the guy said, you know what, I'm going to fight now this guy?
Well, he's also 6'4", and he's 205 pounds.
He's not a lightweight in NHL.
Okay, but then why are you doing what you did? Why?
Because he had no experience. That's my point. He had no experience about that. You see that part. My point behind that, Jekai need to be smarter. Need to get there. He can grab the player, Mr. Tap. You don't have to fight him and shoot his 10 times on the head of the guy when he doesn't want to fight. Grab him in the neck, face to face, and shake him, Mr. Tap. Shake him. Shake him. Put your glove in the face.
It's hard to shake him.
Don't finish your team.
when
Don't
he
finish your
turns
team.
into a turtle.
I'm sorry.
I said it's hard. It's hard to shake him when he turtles, and you have nothing to go at except the back of his head.
But
Like
what?
I still think this whole situation, Coach. With all due respect, I love Martin St. Louis, but if he didn't want this, if he wanted him to act in a certain way, he should have said, you know what, I'm going to be the better person here and say you're not playing for about 4 or 5 shifts, maybe the whole first period. You're not coming on, Jack. Because I know where this is going.
That's not
Instead, he
help.
sent
For
him on
sure, it
the
does not
ice.
help.
He
I
sent
agree
him,
with you. That's not help. He knew
yeah,
already. I think for me, when I said my point, he should talk to the players already about that. And you know what? When you emotion him sometimes, do you think really Jacques said, wait a minute, we lost Reinbacher. Now, if I get an investigation, I'm going to get a game misconduct. I'm going to be out of the game. Now we play at 4. No. Him,
but those were
Jacques, he see only one thing. Only one thing is targeting Perry for the next shift. That's it. That's
right.
the only thing he's thinking. That's how he is wired. This is what he's thinking.
Is
Something happened for my teammate, I step up. Nothing wrong with that. I love it. I love it. Wolfpack
yes,
mentality, Masantap, you need those guys. My point
yes.
behind that is that I did not like the way he did it. That's it. That's all. That's the only thing. Again, you said Martin Louis should go to the players and talk to the players before you go on the ice. And you have no, if you want better, Masantap, sit him on the, like you just said, on the bench, couple of shift, and maybe one player can step up as the forward go around him. Who knows? I don't know. But this is why I believe the point behind that, Mr. Tap, is maybe prevention, Martin Louis, and the staff missing. I think they should dress Peseta. It's easy to say that the Sunday night, right? But I think that would be
Yeah, of
better
course.
to something happening from Toronto because no, because what happening Thursday night, I think it would be better if Montreal dress a little bit more, player like Peseta and Luke Tuck on the four line and with Florent Jacquet. Is something happening? At
Well,
least you
again,
have that
that
line.
goes with the coaching. That goes with the coaching because
Yeah, that's my point.
you should see what lineup they're putting out there, and it should be comparable. Not like the night before where Montreal had their AHL team out there, and Toronto had all their starters in there, with the exception of Matthews, of course. And then the next game they play, it's the total opposite. Again, too many games. You're bringing in clowns that know they're into these games, that know that they want to make a name for themselves. And so the first thing they do is they look for some kind of incident to come up. Now, again, this one, I don't think it was premeditated. I don't think he was looking. Oh, let me see if I can find Laine and hit him. That wasn't the situation. But when he came at him and he cut right through both players, he said, "How am I going to stop him? Well, I'm going to hit him and bring out my knee." And he did that, and that's intent. So afterwards, you paid a price. Now, if you don't want that to happen, I don't think Berube should throw him back on the ice. I thought that was kind of stupid too. Like, why is Berube putting him back on the ice for? It's not just Martin St. Louis. It's also Berube who's really trying to take the Leafs and bring a certain edge to them. I get that, but this is not the way to go about it.
It's funny because people said that Ellen, everybody have to be agree with me. Not at all, Ellen. Not at all. You love Mayu, and I appreciate that, and I don't have no problem with what your opinion are with anybody in the chat. I have no problem with that part. You are different. I give you my opinion. If you don't like my opinion, I cannot helping you about that. I don't beg anyone of each one of you have to accept my opinion. I give you my own opinion. Now it's up to you if you like it, if you don't like it, Ellen. That's it. It's that simple. Now, Mark, you talk about
Yeah, we're
you
just
have no choice to go Jakai to go there. I said no problem with that reaction for Jakai. What I said, I don't want to lose a player for 7 minutes. You cannot lose a player when you lose already a player. You have to be smarter on
yeah,
your behavior or your reaction for what happening before that. Now it's happening
and you're
that
right
way.
about that. You're right about that, Coach. You're absolutely correct. You have to sort of pick and choose when you're going to impose that revenge, or if you want to call it that. But I don't think anybody on either team anticipated that the events would unfold as they did, where Paré would avoid the challenge to fight and then turtle when the opportunity came up, and that's what causes it. These were the consequences of it. And again, refereeing is a big issue. I think until that's addressed, you're going to get all this kind of garbage in the NHL all the time because they're not taking control of the game to say this is the way the game is played.
I observe that. AK Paris is a goon and should be charged with assault. Um, Paris and the American Hockey League last season, 58-minute penalty and 61 game. Paris and the American Hockey League the year before, 21 minutes and 42 game. Paris and the American Hockey League 3 years ago with Belleville Senator, 10 minutes and 42 and 41 game. Paris and the East Coast Hockey League 4 years ago, 40 minutes and 67 game and East Coast Hockey League AK. If this, you consider this a goon, but I think NHL are 90% goon in NHL. Paris is not a fighter. Paris is not a goon as a hockey player, AK. Now, I disagree with what you just said. He's not a goon. As I give you the stat of Cedric Paris, if you want to get there, AK or everybody in the chat, this is the link. You can go there to see the stat of Cedric Paris, resume as a hockey player.
Yeah.
So that's the point behind
Again,
that.
the bigger issue is this is a lifetime ECHL player that will never see the day of light in the NHL, coach. Why is he in the lineup? That comes back to the coaches. Why did Berube bring this guy into the game?
Yeah, absolutely about that. It would be interesting what is going to happen about this for the Montreal Canadiens. Now, the biggest problem is now they don't have to have. We have to wait until the injuries of both players. What it will be the outcome? Are they going to be a ACL and LMC, and how long they will be out? And that will impact
That's the
the Montreal
unfortunate thing.
Canadiens for the upcoming season, and some kind of decision are going happening.
Yeah. That's the sad part because, like I said, we'll wait and see what the medical report is, but it did not look very good. It's one of those injuries where you could be talking ACL and MCL, and that'll take you out the whole year if it's both.
Yeah, absolutely about this will be we have to wait, and that's what we're changing completely. What could happen for the Montreal Canadiens? Martin Saint Louis, pretty sure, Mr. Enortap. Now, year number 3, I believe, on the rebuilding, or you can call it 3 or 4. Power play 0-20 during the preseason game. Worry about this or not? What you feel about what's going on? And now we know now he's out. But how do you see that? How do you feel about that? Is it now because everybody knows it's not Burroughs anymore? It's Martin Saint Louis. Before it was, we don't know if it's Alex Burroughs or Martin Saint Louis. But do you feel now he's going to have more pressure? Not only the team have to perform better, but right now the power play was a big question for the Montreal Canadiens because the selection of the players. You know, some people talk about Laine to be a part of the unit number 1 over Mike Madison, Patrik Laine over maybe Kirby Doc or any other players. But also the fact how they play in the beginning of the preseason, most those players on the power play. How do you feel about that? Of course, 0-20 is not only the unit number 1 we saw the last couple of games, but are you have some kind of worry about that situation?
Well, answering the question, pressure, of course, it's no longer honeymoon phase for Martin St. Louis. It's not cutesy time anymore. I mean, we're starting to get to a point where you're developing, okay? And we're not quite at the stage where we need to be yet. Granted, we still don't have, I think, the kind of players that we need to be very, very competitive once you get into the playoffs. But those are all either down the pipeline or in the process of being consummated once things happen like trades or whatever the case might be, free agency, that kind of stuff. So I'm not worried about that. But as the games become more and more important, and we'll go back to the word that's been overly used all summer long, and that's being in the mix. Of course, the pressure is going to be on because Martin St. Louis coach gets put under the microscope now, and every mistake he makes or every decision he makes is looked at in a different fashion. Take for example the power play. All right, they got rid of Burrows. He said, "I'm going to take over the power play." Now, okay, it's a very small sample size, 0 for 20 in terms of the number of games played for. It's very small sample size. Am I worried? No. I think that once they cut down to their proper roster and they play the players that are going to be on the power play and not a mismatch of different players, I think you'll see an improvement and also get some practice in. But let's suppose, just for argument's sake, the power play doesn't get better. It's either at last year's rate or, God forbid, even worse. Well, that's a big worry, and it's a big worry for Martin St. Louis. If all of a sudden they regress this year, right? And some people might say, well, Laine is out of the lineup, so we're going to have a bad year, or we're going to pick in the top 3 or 4. Not necessarily. I mean, you still have to be optimistic. You have to say this is a team that needs to continue their growth process from where they left off last year, number one. Number two, they have a healthy, knock on wood, a healthy Doc that's come into the equation. Number three, you're bringing in Laine Hudson, who should help at the very least, should help your power play now. So there are some factors that even though, yes, we lost a big piece in Laine, but there's still enough pieces there that you should be making some kind of progression from last year. And if they don't make that progression, yes, I would say there is pressure and there is cause to worry if you're Martin St. Louis.
Yeah. I just read what is going on in the chat about that one. Yeah. ADP just put some fire put some gas on the fire with Mitchkov. Good to go yesterday. How about that? Look, power play for me, Mr. Tap. With all the respect, and I'm a big defender of Mike Madison, Mr. Tap. Mike Madison, until he would be the quarterback for Montreal Canadiens, the power play would be like a wave, right? He's going to be struggling overall because he's not a prototype a quarterback you want to have if you want to have a good, solid power play. And most of the team made the playoffs on top have one of the best power play in NHL. Most of the team on the 16 made the team on top. You're going to see most of them on the best power play in NHL. Always an exception, I understand that. But Montreal Canadiens, unfortunately, with Mike Madison, are not going to be a solid power play. Now, I know they are rusty. I know we can go with excuse, Minnesota, but for me, it's the way they did it, the way the player on the wrong position. In my opinion, I don't understand what Caulfield is on the right and Zuskin is on the left. I don't get it. Why not Sekas keep playing? It's just the way they do that, and then they are stationary. They move the puck, Minnesota, but they go from 4 feet forward to go backward, 4 feet on the left, 4 feet on the right. They have no mutation. If you want to have a great power play on top, you have to create chaos on the diamond or on the box of the opponent team. That's simple.
All right.
That's only. So you try to create always a lanes. 2 versus 1. That's what you try to create. But yesterday and the day before, they move the puck from the top, go to the winger, they go back to the top, go back to another side, they go back to the goal line. It's a puck movement. We have nothing there. You have no chaos in front of the net. You have no shot coming there with the screening, and I can go away. For me, this is my problem overall for the Montreal Canadiens power play. I think they need to figure out better strategies, a better system, and with maybe better players. They have what they have. I understand that. But now they have Laine Hudson. Now, I think N26 said he didn't prove anything. But at least it cannot be worse on
Oh,
Mike Madison to run the power play. At least you can see the entrance is easier when it's Lennartson on the ice. The Montreal Canadiens cannot go entrance most of the time in the power play. I think that would move better the puck movement with the player move on the power play with Lane Hudson. That would be my point of view about
yeah.
that power play.
And the
I'm
other
not
thing,
worried
coach,
yet.
sorry to interrupt, but the other thing is Lane Hudson is a lot more creative. He thinks on the spot. I think Matheson is more mechanical. The puck comes here, has to go to Caulfield, it goes to Suzuki, and it's very telepathic and the passes. And that's why last year we had a lot of 2-on-1s on shorthanded situations because they knew exactly what Matheson was going to do. With Lane Hudson, that's not the case. He knows when to rush in, he knows when to take a shot. Now he can improve his shot. That would make him even more lethal if he had a good slap shot from the blue line. But I mean, I think that'll come with time. But I think he is creative and he draws the defense into him, which then opens up somebody if he makes the quick pass.
I would say to you also, I don't like the fact they put Sakaski as the bomber. Like,
Yeah, I get that. I understand why. Would it be better if him and Suzuki switch positions and
it
you
would be
put
better to
Slavkovsky
put him
down
on the
low?
left side as a left shooter and put Suzuki or Caulfield to the middle. I would prefer to put Suzuki right there. Suzuki have a great wrist shot. But here's the point behind that of what Martin said. What's the job of bumper? You have to think everybody is a right shooter. The puck have to come in from that side, on the right side. If he's a left shooter, well, you're going to use the other side. So if
Yeah, yeah,
Sakiski is on the bumper, Mr. Tap, it's going to be where Suzuki and Duck are. If he's a right shooter, it's going to be another side where Zakaski and Duck are. So I think this is the reason why you have to use for me. Suzuki have a great wrist shot. Sakaski, I think, would be better on the left side. That will give at least a one-timer shot if you have to go that. Caulfield, you can use his one-timer shot on the right side. Suzuki don't have really a one-timer shot. You have a good one-timer knee down, I would say to you. But I think that would be the way I would see the Montreal Canadiens. My concern for me is like, why not to trade Lennartson? It's 20 time right now. There's no work. Trade Lennartson.
mm,
Mike Madison, the second line, that's okay with me, and no problem with that part. I think that would be. I'm not worried, but if we want to get the mix to get 20%, this is where they have to struggle. They have to become better. But
yeah,
again, we have what we got, right? We don't have Edmund, we don't have Roman Uzi, we don't have Adam Fox, we don't have Quinn Hughes, we don't have. I was talking about Nate
yeah.
Thompson for the New
Tage.
York Islanders, right? So we have
Oh,
to do what we got, right? So I think
Dobson.
Montreal should, I think, give a chance to Lane Hudson. By the time we tell us, I think that the team could join the 19-20%. They have the personnel, the skill, and the talent now they have with Lane Hudson, Doc Suzuki, and Caulfield and Sakaski. By the time we do it, so not panic mode for that. But my point behind that, Marcel is he's going to
No.
feel some heat during the season because he's in charge about the power play. It don't work. Remember, Mr. Tap, a power play below 20 is like a roller coaster. Sometimes they are good for 5, 6 games, and then you go down, they disappear for 0, 20,
Yeah.
25. For me, the power play right now is just not play where they should play better and put the puck more in the net, or at least have more
Yeah, they're
opportunity.
not creative enough.
Mr. Tap, 0-6-7 yesterday.
Yeah.
They have 6 shots on the net. Like 6 shots on the
Yeah.
net. You cannot score. Like every power play should have 3-4 shots on the net. Opportunities, high
Yeah,
tendency.
it was all perimeter work, and you're not going to get many shots through. They'll be blocked. They'll be
Yeah,
shot
afraid
down the
about that.
ice.
For one. On the flip side, Mr. Tap, the defensive side do very well. Like they gave only 4 goals. They play better as a team. The goaltender are ascending between the pipe. Whatever it's used, Dalbesh or Primo Montembeau. I think Montembeau, Primo would love to see the goal last night. They go through the body. on the right side. I think they would like to see that, make that safe. But otherwise, they have a
Both
really
of them.
good week for the goaltender overall for Montreal. They've only gave 4 goals, honestly. Montreal prospect, a little bit quick, guys. Dimitrov, Rover, and Koivu. They did a very good week for the Montreal Canadiens, and that's a good sign on the pipeline for the Montreal Canadiens. You can see that on that one, Koivu scored his first goal career, Mr. Tap, and Liga League. Play only 6 8 minutes the last two games. Koivu tried to stay in that league. That's a great to see that. A great release again for Koivu for the team at TPS. Again, the number 9 scored his first goal in Liga League. You're going to see a little bit later.
Nice bucket.
Dimitrov scored his full goal Thursday night and the win of the SKA. But yesterday, Mr. Tap, Dimitrov was returning on the ice with the team. And unfortunately, Mr. Tap, the team lost, but it scores 5-4, but it was 5-1 at some point. They scored 2 goals, Mr. Tap, at the last 4 minutes with no goalie on the ice. But Dimitrov, Mr. Tap, got a penalty at the half of the game.
That's right.
And the team scored a goal in the full goal of the game, the team. And then Rodenberg, the head coach of the SKA, sit down Dimitrov for the rest of the game. He only used him at the last 2 minutes of the game or 3 minutes of the game at one shift, and Dimitrov decided to send the ice for 1 minute 20 seconds. Mr. Tap. Overall, play only 7 minutes 36 seconds. I have only 10 shifts. I have 1 assist. I think Mr. Tap, his first period was amazing. 3 shots on the net, and it was involved great opportunity without Kuznetsov. But because of that penalty, I think Rodenberg was really too hard on Dimitrov, and it was sit down on the bench. Now you can see prior that the goal of Rover. Vincent Rover scored his 4 goal of the season with the team a couple of days ago. Rover have a great year so far with the team Zurich Lions, Mr. Tap. And then you have Owen Protz scored 1 goal, 1 assist Friday night. And then you have
Good player.
other top have a good week overall. Whatever is didn't have no point Friday night. It was really involved. 5 body check, 5 hit, and 5 shot on the net. Kuznetsov have 1 goal, 1 assist Saturday, and then Valenkin win his both game. But now Valenkin is back on the MHL, Mr. Tap, for the Montreal Canadiens. Now, what happening with the NCAA by Fuller, Michael Edge, and Logan Sawyer is going to start the next couple of days. So going to provide you update and all this information about them the next couple of weeks about their situation for upcoming season. So this is a little bit with a review of the prospect for the Montreal Canadiens. We would like to share this on the weekly recap. Mr. Tab, anything to add about something else? So?
No, it's good to see that they've gotten off to a decent start so far. Let's hope that they can continue that. I didn't quite understand sitting Demidov just because he drew a penalty. And if you look at the play, coach, he got the puck. I know it caused the situation. It's not like he caused a high danger offensive threat.
It was more for me
play.
as on tab. You're right. It was more like an unlucky penalties.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
it was on defensive side. If it was on offensive side, I can understand. Man, you know what,
yes,
Mr. Tap? You
totally.
could also say, I'm going to bench him 2-3 shift, and that's it. Now, what he decided to do, he was losing 4-1 at the beginning of the third period. He rolled with only 3 lines. So, he had 4 players. The KHL were dressed up at 13 forward, and he put all the 4 players out for the rest of the third period. This is the second time happening to Dimitrov in the first 10 games. Dimitrov now have 4 goals, 4 assists, and 10 games with a total, or maybe
8
9
points.
points. So
8 points in 10 games, coach, and here he is. He's been they're sitting him. I just don't get it. I'm sure they're thinking of something when they're doing that, but now they've also lost Kuznetsov for a while with an injury, so it'll be interesting to see if he moves up the lineup, Demidov.
yeah, on the John US said that June Judy for Arbor. That's happening yesterday. He got no suspension for him, but he got a fee of 3,385 and 242 fee from the NHL. This is the max you can get. So no suspension. So that's good news to have Jekai and the next couple of days in the lineup with the Montreal Canadiens and Mr. Tap. Then we have seen some spot, Mr. Tap. I want to talk about this. I know people keep constantly talking about the Jekai and everything like that, but I think I have to vote. And that plays going calm
Good
and
old
the
Jack.
chat, everything like that for that one. The Bush League, Dimitrov coach, talk Mark about KHL, but that's where
Possibly.
he play. So I have no
At
with
least
that.
the coaches.
That's the point behind that. Mr. Tap, prospect subject clash headline. Jakai, I don't know where I put that some spot, Mr. Tap. I cannot figure out now. Where's my graphic about that one? I apologize. But the point behind that, Mr. Tap, I cannot go there, is Montreal Canadiens now at two spot. I believe is going happening. The seven defensemen, I think Cooley, Savard, Barron, Madison, Hudson, Strobel are in. That's six. One more spot. It's going to be between Logan Mailloux and
And
Jekai.
Struble. Oh, Jack.
Yeah. Jekai and Logan Mailloux and Strobel are waiver exempt for the Montreal Canadiens. So
Yes.
I understand fans. I know said Jekai go Laval, but this is the battle of the spot. So that will be interesting what happening. I think Logan Mailloux will be the ones going to be in Laval. But do you expect any other chance for that spot for the Montreal battle?
On defense, you're talking
Yeah,
about specifically?
yeah.
Yeah, on defense, it's definite. It's between, I'd say, Mayu, Struble, and Jacky. I I don't agree that Jacky will be your seventh. I still think he'll be the third pairing for on the third pairing for Montreal. I think the real battle is going to be between, if you keep Mayu, it's because you don't have confidence in Barron, and he hasn't really shown to a great degree that his defensive work has gotten much better than last year. So that's going to be an interesting one. You almost want more somebody that's steady back there like a Struble, and also adds the element of physicality to the game. Um, so I think it's really between those three. It's Barron, Mayu, and Struble.
Yeah. I think for me, Mayu will be the ones go to Laval. I think
Possibly.
that would be my suggestion. I don't they Strobel keep Strobel. They have a good camp so far. Barron have a good camp, so it's going to be between Jakai and
No,
Mayu. Go ahead.
Barron hasn't. Barron hasn't. In all
He,
fairness, Struble
Barron have a good
Struble
camp.
has.
Barron have a good camp.
Eh, not
Barron have a
not
good
on
camp.
the defensive.
Barron and Toronto play
Hmm.
well.
I don't know.
Very beginning of the week, they play a
I
good.
saw some of the mistakes he made, but I mean, I don't want to dump on him because I think all the defense made mistakes at different points. So there's a lot of work to be done there. Um, and the fact that he's a right-handed defenseman obviously gives him the distinct advantage over,
Well, it's a waiver exam. It's
probably
on top. It's not waiver exam.
that too. Yeah, you're right.
So it's going to be in about that. It's going to be Jekai Mayu, and my point, they're not going to send Jekai right away. I would be shocked. But Montreal shocked us many times, so it would be interesting to see happening. Now, on the forward, Mr. on top,
Yeah,
I think there will be 14 forward. Pesada, Alex Barry-Boulet are in. That give them 12 and 13. I think they will keep Joshua Roy. So they are part of the 13. They still have one more spot right there. And now you have three players I believe you're going to fight for that spot. Two players. Oliver Kapanen or Emil Enneman. I think they are the two players right now are going to fight for that spot.
I think the positive thing is that they have the luxury of at least trying Kapanen for a certain amount of games, less than 10, just to see how maybe he adapts to everything. But I mean, he's looked very good in the exhibition games he's played, and I like what I've seen. I initially when Laine was still there, I would have said Kapanen was probably going to go back a year, despite having played better. It's just I think it would have sort of helped him to have an extra year of development. But in this case, I think he might be the one that gets the position. Now, the only way I think Heineman comes in is, I mean, he offers a little bit more experience, right, than Kapanen does at this stage. So if they're going to look at that, then I think it goes that direction. But I worry when it comes to Heineman because he's very inconsistent. Like he'll give you 2 or 3 very good games where he's probably one of the top 3 stars of the night, and then he'll disappear for 3, 4, 5 games, and it's a cycle that you don't want to see with a player, right? I think I'd like to see somebody with more consistency, and why not use those 8 or 9 games to see if Kapanen can give you that consistency?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, Mr. Natal, here I see that, right? I think Kapanen have to prove it one more time. But if you take a
Yeah.
little bit longer, Kapanen should be a part of the Montreal Canadiens roster, like part of the long term
Yes.
plan, right? I think to be
Yeah.
around the Montreal Canadiens, it will develop a little bit better. They will really teaching him and to learn a little bit more about that over Eneman. Eneman, I don't see him. Now we have
Right.
RHP is coming back
I
the
agree.
next couple of months, right? And Alex Barry Boulet now can go back to Laval after that. And
Mhm.
then when I said that, Mr. Tap, we have to be a little bit more concerned. Maybe they can keep Eneman over Alex Barry Boulet and send him back in Laval also,
Right. Yeah.
right?
I would probably go that direction
So that
first.
would be the same way. But for me, if Montreal believe Kapanen should stay in Montreal, and they can keep him uh, 1 day, 1 game, 2 game, 5 game, 10 game, 15 game, 20 game if they want to.
Why not?
His dad said yesterday they are fine with that. If they want to keep him, how long it would take, it's not a matter for us. That's okay with us. So you have no pressure for the Team Raw, to bring back Kapanen. That's the first thing. The second thing, the Montreal Canadiens, I think they should keep Kapanen and develop him to see what he look like. If it's worst case, send him back over there. That's not a problem in November, and they can take a decision later. So that would be my formulation for the Montreal Canadiens, Kapanen. The fight,
And
honestly,
don't forget,
Eneman
and don't
and
forget, Coach. Also, Kapanen offers you the ability to either play at center or on the wing, right? Whereas Heineman is strictly the wing. So you have more play if you have Kapanen in your lineup than you do Heineman.
exactly about that. Now, Mr. Tap, that would bring a new audition for the second line for the Montreal Canadiens.
Well, yeah,
Now, my
unfortunately.
question to you, Mr. Natal, for that audition, who do you think should go there?
Well, I haven't seen enough to say, or sorry, I've seen enough to say right now. I wouldn't want Newhook there. I like his speed that he brings to the game. I like the fact that he can create a space for himself, but I just don't see him on the second line right now. I think he's perfectly fit for the third line at the time being. I would like to see Roy there to start off with and see how he plays with better talent. Because if there's one thing about Roy is he's been consistent. He maybe hasn't reached his ceiling yet, but he doesn't hurt you in any way, shape, or form, and he's very responsible defensively as well. And he knows he's a good playmaker. He knows how to also put himself in the right position to get rebounds and score off of those opportunities. So I would like to see him there first, but I'm not sure that that's the route that they'll go though. That's the only issue. I don't know how you see it, but I don't see Martin St. Louis starting Roy ahead of Newhook at this point.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I think for me, um, Joshua Roy, Joel Armia, and I'm surprised everybody here, Kapanen.
And Kapanen, yeah, yeah. Kapanen
Um,
can handle it.
I think we gave the first to Jordan Amir first, but I think this. I don't see Josh Anderson there. I don't see Gallagher there. On my opinion, right there for that one. So it'll be my option for the Montreal Canadiens. Um, but again, the time will tell us, Mr. Tap, what happening about that. Now, Joshua Webb, Mr. Tap, a really a low camp. He didn't have a really good camp right now. That's the reason I need to be careful to put him on the second line right away. Um,
Yeah, maybe, and that's what I think their logic will be. But I think he has the tools to eventually be on that line.
Yeah. So that would be the reason behind that. Mr. Tap, we finish the show always with what?
Hot seat.
The Clash.
Oh, the clash.
The
Here we go.
Clash, Mr. Tap. We are back tonight for the Clash. We're going to clash at some point, Mr. Tap, for that one.
Absolutely.
The Clash, absolutely or not allowed, Mr. Tap, on that one tonight for the people in the chat. Should they trade and send of a prospect, Mr. Tap, for the second top or on the top six forward? Absolutely or not allowed?
Not at all. I mean, I know that if Laine goes on the LTIR, it's going to open up over $8 million. But at this stage, you have to look at the positive side of the flip side of what's happened here, and it's an opportunity now for somebody or somebodies to step up and fill that role. And then if you don't see it happening, well, then you have to do something different. But at this point, it's an opportunity to look at some of those young kids and see if they can handle it. And they can't say that they weren't given an opportunity. So I'll say not at all.
I agree with you about that. I think it's not necessary to add a top six because it's not like they have to. Like they are not a team go all the way in the playoff and everything like that. I don't think so. It's necessary right now. I would prefer to go
Too
from the
early.
inside for the pipeline from inside and go from there, Mr. Tap. So I agree with you. Not allowed on that one. With that, Mr. Tap, this is going to be. I was trying to find the right number, Mr. Tap, and I think about this for a few minutes. And I want to squeeze you. He said, if I go with another number, he's going to say, oh, it's not a big deal. But now I squeeze you, Mr. Tap. And I know you're going to realize this one. I'm telling Canadian, Mr. Tap.
A lot to squeeze.
How many points they get for the upcoming season? 84.8 plus. Absolutely or not allowed. This is a great number, Mr. Tap, because 83, 84 was pretty good. If I go with 85, it's slightly
Right.
not. But 83, 84, this is the number there. So my question, 84.8 plus for the Montreal Canadiens, absolutely or not allowed.
Time ago, and I had initially at we talked about this a long time, between 82 and 84 points. So I'll say not at all, especially if the injury to Laine is all year long. It's going to be hard to get to that point because, where are you going to get the points? It's most of the teams, especially in that division, have improved as well. And last year's Atlantic head-to-head action was not very good for Montreal. So that's an area that they have to improve on, and I don't see it. So I'm going to say not at all, but it just slightly under.
Yeah. I go with you on that one, not at all. On that one, barely. But I think Montreal again could get 82 points to 84 points if they have an increasing as a team together.
Yeah, we're agreeing too much, Coach. Come on.
That's not that. The next one. On the second line, a veteran over a prospect with Kirby Doc and Alex Newhook. Absolutely or not at all?
I would say, even at the heels of what we just finished saying, it makes more sense to have a veteran there. Like I like your idea as well. When you mentioned Armia, he's not going to hurt you in any way, shape, or form. Um, Consistency sometimes with Armia is the issue. Like, when he's hot, there's just about not too many players hotter than him. But when he's off, sometimes you don't notice him. But he finished off very strong last year. Why not give him the opportunity? So I'll say absolutely veteran over prospect for
Absolutely
now.
veteran over the prospect, not at all. At the
Right now,
beginning, I would say to yes. So I agree
yeah,
with you. At the beginning, I go with that.
I agree. I agree. And
All right.
later on, maybe
Yes,
prospect.
exactly.
Yeah.
Do we have another one from Mr. Antap for you? I think we have another one, Mr. Antap. The NHL Draft 2023, Mr. Antap. Reinbacher over, I should put over Michkov. Absolutely or not?
Oh man. I mean, it's just an unfortunate. So you know what? I would say not at all under normal circumstances. Uh, but here's the issue. The issue is how many teams passed on Michkov beforehand, and part of that was because he made it pretty much clear that he wanted to play for Philadelphia. So if you know that ahead of time, then of course you'll take. And knowing that Reinbacher was going to go if Montreal didn't pick him right away, so I would say, given the fact that he didn't want to necessarily come to Montreal, I'll say not at all.
Um,
Or sorry, the other way around. I'll say absolutely Reinbacher, given that Michkov did not want to come to Montreal. Otherwise, in theory, I would say no way. I would take Michkov over Reinbacher.
yeah. Um, I go with absolutely Mr. Antap. I think you nailed it. I think Michkov doesn't want to play in Montreal. I know a lot of fans were going to go back on that NHL draft because Michkov is going to performing. I understand that. Rebecca is being Laval, hurt, whatever it is, right? But for me, if the player doesn't want to play here, I'm still not sure about his character. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, at that moment, I would say absolutely Rebecca over Michkov. The time we tell us. Said that, Mr. Antap, and people in the chat, I'm going to go back together on the other graphic, and we'll finish the show that way, Mr. Antap. Um, you have a conversation in my video comments yesterday about the fact like Michkov over Rebecca, everything like that. Mr. Antap, if the Montreal Canadiens select Michkov,
Mm-hmm.
right, that would give a 5'10", a 5'9", and a 5'11" on the top six for the Montreal Canadiens. At that moment, Mr. Antap, at the Dimitrov was approximately 5'11", 6
11.
foot
Yeah.
at the draft. If they select him, now he's 6 foot and plus. But still, I believe me, I'm going to be wrong here. But if they select Michkov, they have to trade Caulfield.
Yeah, I could see the
Like
logic
Mr. Antap, you
there.
cannot win the Stanley Cup or you cannot
Yeah,
become a
yeah,
contender playoff with 3 forward under 6 foot on your top six.
yeah. You have to have size. You have to have some sandpaper there, like all the intangibles that we talk about, right? And you're right. They probably end up trading. I don't know if it's Caulfield per se, but it would have been somebody.
I think this is why I believe it was. I think that's the reason we have to remember. Sometimes it's not about Michkov, Rebecca. It's about Michkov, Demidov, or Michkov and possible trade Caulfield.
Yeah.
And that trade could bring a right defenseman. Do you trade Cole Caulfield for Jimmy Trestello?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So now, if
For
you trade Cole
for
Caulfield,
Drysaitel.
that Caulfield is out. You have Michkov, Suzuki, Dimitrov, Sekaski, Doc, and Patrik Laine. And then you have Jimmy Trestall over um, David Reinbacher.
Right.
So
I see. I see.
that's that's the point behind that. But again, Ed player doesn't want to play in Arizona. Ed player doesn't want to play in Columbus. Ed player doesn't want to play in Montreal. But he said, I
Right.
want to play in Flyers. How can you select him anyway? And when he's going to be unhappy, and he maybe decide to stay longer in the KHL. And maybe he said, you know what? The first time I become UFA, I'm gone. I'm out
Yeah.
here. So
And
at
then
the end
you
of the day,
lost a
Mr.
great
Tap,
pick.
I don't think so it was the right pick for the Montreal to select Mitch Cobb with all what he hear and what they know. That's not said that. I don't know what he looked like, his character. I'm not said he is a bad behavior or he have a bad character. But still, I believe a player doesn't want to play in Montreal. He cannot he cannot draft him.
Yeah.
And Montreal
No,
Canadiens, like you said, Mr.
I
Tap, are
totally
really
agree with
pay,
that.
they really careful about the character of the players.
100%. 100%.
So
That's what you have to build first. That's what they took the most attention to is in stripping it down and building it up again. They had to make sure that they put the right pieces in place first. They had to have good, very good GMs. I think that they got a very good coach as well. Even though some things are starting to surface, but I think he'll work towards that. And then they drafted relatively well. At this point, Slavkovsky seems like a very good pick that they went with. Reinbacher's not obviously going to hurt you. He's going to be a solid defenseman in the future. Just has to stay healthy. And of course, Demirov's coming, and then you have other players that they drafted this year as well that show a lot of promise. So overall, coach, it's the pieces are there. It's now you have to play around with the pieces and fit things together. There's still about 3 or 4 contracts that they have to clear out. But notice in this whole process, the big surprise to me that's come out of all of this has been the goaltending. We went from a position where we thought, will we ever have a number one goaltender? And I guess the definitive answer is not yes yet, but it's looking very promising when you see the efforts of guys like Dobesh, and you have Fowler down the pipeline, and Volokin, and you still have Montebo and Primo that are going to hold the fort until they're ready. So that they may have addressed an issue that was dearly lacking at some point or
yeah,
needed to be addressed.
absolutely about that one. John said I can buy Mishkov not wanting to play in Montreal, but I'm sure as well wish media, Sav would just said that and said that he has bad human sick. Now I don't know if he's a bad human, but I would say to you,
No,
John, I would say one thing, and this is really from Elliot Philman, everybody. Mishkov decide where to go. When he did his own interview with all the team, he knew he wanted to be with the Flyers. And that's the
yeah,
reason you do not see them about that one over there. And that's what happening for the Montreal Canadiens. PLW, listen, Mitchkov scored goal only in the preseason game right now. Let's see what he's going to look like at the regular season and NHL before that. I think the Calder is going to be Celebrini, in my opinion. That will be my first pick over Mitchkov. Mitchkov is going to be on the Thunder, on the Thunder blender of Tortorella at some point during the season, Mr. Tap.
oh, for sure, for
Is going
sure.
to get that one over there, and Celebrini is going to have a free pass and over there for the with San Jose Sharks. But it would be very interesting for what happening about that overall for the Montreal Canadiens. And it'll be look, we'll be back tomorrow night at 8:30, Mr. Top. Consider talking about maybe the news about the injury of both players of the Reinbacher, and we'll see what they're going to do that. For me, I always said that when you have a cloud, but you always a sun behind the cloud. That will give for Montreal Canadiens that challenge to figure out who can step up as a Montreal Canadiens inside of the roster. A lot of fans here expect Patrik Laine with 30, 35, 40 goals. He never
No
accomplished
guarantee.
this. He never accomplished this, Mr. Tap, in the last 6, 7 years in NHL. He never
That's
did
right.
it. He never did it, right? Every year he have an injury, play 30, 50, 60 game, everything. My point behind that, Mr. Tap, is maybe with Montreal this season, if he was played, he scored only 18 goals.
Yeah. Well,
You never
we don't
know.
know.
You never
We
know,
were
right?
assuming.
Yeah, you
We
never
were
know.
assuming.
Yeah, so the expectation and the hope for Montreal was very high with him in the lineup. Without him, it looked like everything fall apart, right? But I still believe Montreal Canadiens, with Martin St. Louis, with the player they have, they can step up to be a good year overall, to be in the mix of the couple of months and the race, to be a 80 to 85 point at the end of the season. And of course, great to have another and a
Ex-
great pick for the Montreal Canadiens. I never use the word tank. I never use Montreal should do everything to finish at the top 5. But if Montreal select Mr. Tap on the top 8, it's going to be a national player and the roster a long term to satisfy the Montreal Canadiens how they're going to be on the top. Now, you never know, Mr. Tap. It could finish on the top 5, 6, and then to get the first overall pick or the second overall pick. You never know. We see.
Yeah.
But obviously,
And
year after
that's
year,
why
Mr. Tap,
this
I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know, understand. I don't know, Mr. Tap, why happening every year. But I
the
feel like
injuries. Yeah.
I feel
It's
like
so
the Chicago
freaky.
Cubs, Mr. Attack, it took over one of the year before to see the World Championship trophy. The Toronto Maple Leafs, they find a way always to destroy the hope to win the Stanley Cup since 1967. The Montreal Canadiens since 1993, they never have win the Stanley Cup. Since 1996, they never have a scorer of 40 goals. Since 2008, they never have 1 point average per game with the Montreal Canadiens. Since 2017, they never have a power play over 20%. Since 1980 or 91, Stéphane Richer is the last one with 50
And
goals.
yet, coach, we're the dynasty. Look at those cups.
And then, is it the year where a miracle could happen? We'll see what's happening for the Montreal for the upcoming season. Until then, Mr. Nassar, for the next couple of shows, we're going to do projection, and talk about the Montreal Canadiens, and we'll see what it look like. Overall, it was an amazing, great show. Agree, disagree, like me, don't like me, it's okay. The most of the time, Mr. Nassar, I'm back tomorrow night at 8:30 with you for another Ab Nation show. You are awesome. You are amazing. You are the best. And remember, you have greatness inside of you. We're going to try to bring you some of the top 20 of the week of the song, Mr. Natap, on the Billboard this week. Hopefully, we're going to get them, Mr. Natap. What a great show for everybody. Of course, we want to thank the RG Calabro for the news update. The moderator, Runway King, Luciano in the house. Follow the people that click on the like or dislike. We love you, all of you. Thanks for being with us. And you agree, disagree. We do this for one thing, Mr. Natap. We do this with respect. And the most important thing, Mr. Natap, be well, be ill. Find a way, not only dominate your day, but find a way to dominate the second app. Or what, Mr. Natap?
You're 20, 24.
I think that's go well, be healthy for Reinbacher and Patrik Laine, Mr. Natap, on this week.
Absolutely. Our prayers and thoughts are out to them.
Everybody tonight, pray. Go to the church. Turn the lights on. Pray. Maybe they don't have maybe they don't have a big injury. That look like, but we'll never know what could happen. Mr. That a miracle, a pill, something could put in the water, and then they put this the knee perfectly great. We'll happening, Mr. Tap.
Sometimes, coach.
Wish you an amazing, great week.
Sometimes a window closes, but a door opens, right?
That's happening every night with you, Mr. Tap.
No, with the coach.
Have a great night, Mr. Tap. I wish you next week.
Good night, Coach. Good night, Hockey Nation. Great to be with you all.
Thank you. Don't forget, guys, we'll be back tomorrow night at 8:30 for another great show. We thanks everybody in the chat. Of course, don't forget the Hockey Nation show. Want to tell you one more thing. We love you, friends. Have a good night. Booyah!